Hello and welcome to the United Stand. The calm before the storm, or the storm is gone. The transfer window is closed and we sit on the cliff edge of this football season. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the SHIT? It's too early in the video to swear. Yeah. We'll go with you, Rants, first. What transfer window's done?
Yeah.
Season ahead, what are you feeling?
It's hard to know what to feel, man. I think that he's been thrown in the deep end. It's hard because he said a lot of things that are going to come back to bite him. You know, we all know what the internet's like. There's a hell of a lot of sound bites. Like, I'm going to be here, certain people aren't going to be here. We ain't got rid of no one, really. Well, not the deadwood.
Yeah. What do you think the truth is about that, though? Why do you think he said that? Do you think he thought it would happen and it's not been promised?
I don't know, because with Ole, a part of me feels like the whole United DNA thing, I think Ole's still stuck in a time where we were great. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the ex-United players are still there, where they're like, a lot of players should feel privileged to wear the badge. But recently, not really. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're a great club, but we're a crap team. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of these players don't care about what you done like 10 years ago. These guys want to know, it's a short career. If I'm in my prime, am I going to waste my years here? That's what a lot of players are going to say. So really and truly, I think Ole, a part of Ole, he talks about the United DNA. I think he's romanticised a lot of it, and he thinks that we're a lot more attractive than we are. That's what I genuinely feel.
It's interesting. I do agree with that, because I think Eriksen would probably fit into that category of a player at 27. Does he want to come and waste time taking a step backwards? It feels like Manchester United are a name we're Manchester United, and that's why we support them. But actually, I said yesterday, and some people said it was harsh, I feel like actually if you took the name away, we're a bit like Bournemouth. Where do you think we're going to... What do you feel? You're going to be up and down the country and into bloody farmers' fields in Europa. What do you feel is... Like, there's no one to come in. We go with what we've got. What is your feeling about the season ahead in relation to the league, cups and everything else?
It looks bleak. It looks bleak. I've said to Rants and yourself actually off camera that, do you know what? I can detach myself away from it and say, do you know what? Do a bit of reverse psychology. The rest of the top five, the pressure's on you, because we're the worst out of all of you. So if you don't finish higher than us, more on you. And I'm doing that
that's
as a.
Sad though, isn't it?
That is so sad.
It's frustrating.
I'm doing that to be selfish, because I don't want the drama of the season. I don't want to be bantering Arsenal fans and this, and bantering Spurs fans if we beat that. Because at the end of the day, our midfield, look, we've addressed the back four situation, which is good. And you know what? That probably, I think, as we see it develop, we will end up going back to that issue and go, that was such a good thing that we did in that scene.
Maguire and Wan-Bissaka are not getting the credit they deserve.
They're not.
Because there's a bigger picture.
Exactly, and at the moment now, we can't really focus on that, and that's what's hurting me the most. Like, getting that back four sorted was like, oh, well done, guys. Right, now let's kick on. We've really got a good basis. But we've left ourselves where you can fix the back four all you want, but now the midfield shit. And it's even worse than it was last season. If Pogba gets injured, or if Pogba doesn't fancy it, or if Pogba doesn't show up, which could happen easily, he could still go to Real Madrid. He could down tools, want to go in January. He could all go. You know, at the end of the day, we're a mess. We're a mess in that area. And look, the Lukaku thing, we knew he wanted to leave
3-4 months ago.
Months ago. Before the season even finished, he was saying that Italy would be good, and every United fan go, yeah, he'll be gone in the summer. Why, for the love of me? Okay, we might have tried to hold out for as a highest price as possible. How could we not have a replacement lined up? Now, I know that people are saying, some people have said, you're too negative, Fletch. We've got the youngsters coming in and that. I get it. Great. Mason Greenwood, fantastic. However, we can't just expect him to score 15, 20 goals in his first season. Dan James, very young, very raw. Again, gets almost a free hit. When has Rashford and Martial, as much as I love Martial, he's our most prolific goal scorer we've got, but we haven't seen it year in, year out, month in, month out in the Premier League. Yes, it's mismanagement and he's never had the chance to have his favoured position, but when can you say, I'm putting my house down on it that he's going to score 20 goals? And Rashford, his best season's what, 13 goals? Or whatever? So as much as you make of Rom leaving, we need some goals from somewhere. It's going to be too reliant on these guys, and I back them, and I have to. I've got no choice now. But at the end of the day, I don't want them to be in this position, and we are in this position now.
We're going to talk about where we think we're going to finish and what we're going to do in the Cups, but just picking up on what you said there and throwing it back to you, Rants, the team, what you run about Ole, it feels to me that, yeah, he stuck 20 years ago because that's all he knows, but this Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't think could win a title with this team against Pep and Klopp.
No
He
chance.
couldn't do that.
I said that and I got hammered on Twitter for that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's not disrespectful. There was levels to that. Yeah, there was levels to
Ferguson. I
that.
was like, who was competing with us for players? There was no one in the league at the time when we were dominant that could get anyone we wanted.
Yeah.
There was no one. We were breaking British records every season to get these players. We got the Ferdinands, we got the Rooneys, we got the Carricks. Who we competing with? No one. Arsenal was shopping in France.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So we were getting all these guys in this current climate as it stands. Ferguson, like, no chance he's doing anything against Klopp and these guys, not with these players.
He beat them on a level playing field, but not with this
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, look, the transfer window is closed and it's massively frustrating, but we've got to not forget about it. We've got to deal with it. What Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needed was 200 million spent, two midfielders.
That's
the defence he's got,
net as well.
yeah. And then he's got a fighting chance. He hasn't got that fighting chance now, and he's left with what he's got. And what I fear is he is an inexperienced manager who thinks he can use the old ways to make himself successful. And we talk about that team from '95 with the class of '92, and then you've got Keane and Cantona and Schmeichel. It's almost like he's trying to do it with a Poundland version. With all due respect to Greenwood, Gomez, Chong, who are good players, they're not the same as the class of '92. And with all due respect to Pogba, De Gea, they're not the same as Keane and Cantona and Schmeichel. And that feels like what he's doing. That's what we're going with this
But
season.
that's exactly what it is. Like, even when I say the youth, and like one thing that he said, we want players that want to play for Manchester United. But then it's just like, we're not who we used to be. Do you know what I mean? We're not the team that everyone wants to play for. There's a lot more attractive teams in there, so scrap all of that. Do you know what I mean?
It's a weak management tool, isn't it? I'm only going to have people who are going to, I was about get somebody who might not be so mad about United, but they're a good player.
But this is it. Exactly. Or, like, get them to buy into your project. Forget your Manchester United. Just say, you know what, this is what my goals are for the next 2 or 3 seasons. Do you want to be part of this project? Like, stop using, sell yourself. You're trying to sell the club. Use this whole romanticising the thing. Like, it's almost not about football anymore. Yeah, it's almost not about football anymore with Ollie. Do you know what I mean?
Money's the driver. I've got no problem.
But that's it, and I'm not with all this romance. Like I said, like, if you're the best man for the job, you're the best man for the job. Get the best players. Like, that's just what it is.
I think, you know what it is, yeah, Mark? I think when I was on the Arsenal Talksport, how do you think we could catch City and Liverpool, etc.? I think the biggest thing that these teams have done that we haven't done is they've got a clear plan. And the execution of the plan is ruthless. So when Pep come in his first season, everyone was like laughing at him because he was trying to play this tiki-taka football, but he had Gail Clichy and Sagna and Joe Hart and guy, and they were like, you can't play like that, you can't play that. So they still did it, but what he did was they allowed him the ruthlessness. Their board went, right, Pep, you've told us you're not happy with X, Y, Z. They got 50 million Stones, 50 million Walker, 50 million Mendy. They're still going. They spent 200 million just on fullbacks to get it right. The same with Klopp. Now, I'm not saying they had the same amount of money.
Path is more impressive because it's not all about money.
Exactly. What it is a clear pathway and establishing a profile of player that's going to portray what the manager wants. They've brought out players that is the ideal players for Klopp and the way he wants to play. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Robertson, bringing through Trent, Gomez, these types of players. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So we have lacked that. All the appointments after Sir Alex Ferguson couldn't have been further away from the model of how we wanted to play. And then on top of that, they didn't even back those managers in their philosophies. So we're just restarting after restart after restart. And now it's another restart. So for me,
just on that though, just because I listen to you and I get Rants and I get loads of things and I forget them.
Yeah.
Just on that, this restart, I was talking to someone this afternoon and they were like, how long till United win a title? And we were all talking about this in May and we said it's a 3-year plan. Yeah. It's not a 3-year plan for me now because they haven't done what they needed to do in this summer to make it a 3-year plan. I think it's almost a 4-year plan because they didn't do in the summer what they needed to do.
They catch up again.
And the scariest thing is, because I want to talk about where we're going to finish in the league, because obviously it is a preview. This season's the first season, even with Mourinho last year when he was moaning, I was like, well, we finished second, he's still a top manager. I still think we could maybe fight for a title, and we can still go to Anfield and win. This is the first year where I don't think we're going to get in the top 4, and I actually think when we go to Anfield, we'll get beat. When we go to City, we're going to get beat. When we go to even the Emirates and White Hart Lane or whatever they call it now, we're probably going to get beat. I've never been so unconfident about a Manchester United side.
I completely agree. Like, I can't see us going away from home to these teams. This is the first time
Wolves
in my...
in a couple of weeks.
Bruv, this is the first time, bruv. Last season we went to Wolves twice and got beat in a week. Remember, like, I've never started a season like this before, and like this is the first time in my lifetime that I'm like, yo, Arsenal are better than us, bro. Like, they're actually better than us. Even when they won the league before, I was like, we're better than them, but you know what I mean? It was close. Like now, like they are genuinely better than us, bro. Do you know how painful that is? Like, we're not in the top 4 best teams in the league on paper now anymore. We're not. We're outside of that. So if you finish in the top 4, Ollie needs to be knighted, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to say this as well, because a lot of people go, oh, the negative stand, this, that and the other. Yeah. Nobody wants Manchester United to be more successful than us, and I hope in a year's time we're sat here again, we've won the bloody league. Yeah. But what people need to address here in their own mind, and I don't care what you want to do, because banners flying them over the pitch don't work, but this is self-inflicted by the club. It's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. It's not our fault as fans. It's not the players' fault. This is what the club have inflicted on the fans. They've got no, I don't believe, Flex, they've got no ambition to win a league or even be in a title challenge based on the last 2 transfer windows. They don't.
And that the bit you just had at the end, based on the last transfer windows, is what it is. Because they do in words, they do in press conferences, they do in public statements, we want to return back to the top. And we expect to hear that coming out of our club, but the only way that you truly prove it, like all the other teams have shown, is your transfer business. How ruthless are you going to be? And even James Cooper was saying it at Sky Sports that where's the ruthlessness then? I'm looking for it. Now, the thing is, like I said, I keep going back to that back 4. We should be celebrating that. Because like Rants said in another thing, this is the first time since Sir Alex has left we're not fielding his back 4.
No,
which to be fair, Ollie's done that in when did he come in? December?
He has, Ollie has been ruthless. Fellaini out straight away. Lukaku's gone. So
Herrera didn't want to stay. So all right, cool. It's just after that, it's like we got up to a point where I thought, yeah, do you know what? This is poised now for a ruthless transfer window. I know we're not going to get 10 players out and 10 players in. No one's expecting to see that. But you can't take out from on a already poor midfield, have a disgruntled Pogba, and not even, okay, forget Bruno Fernandes, because I don't want it to be like you're just crying because you never got Bruno Fernandes and you always thought you would. I get that. That's one piece of the puzzle. Even if they brought in a different attacking midfield, just address the problem. You can't just plug one problem and forget about another, and then another one regurgitates. You know what I mean? And that's what we're seeing. We fixed our back 4, but now our midfield's awful. Then you look further up the pitch, and now you've got to rely on people who are untried, untested, and unproven at this level, inconsistent. Look, you talk about, like I say, you don't want people to say the negative stand. I'm just saying it, and we're just saying it as we see it. I would love nothing more than Greenwood to blow this out of the window, get 20 goals, Martial 20 goals, Rashford 15, you know what I mean, 15 goals from Pot. But exactly, exactly. So I can only talk about what this is now, and just my gut feeling going into this is, like I said, I'm just doing reverse psychology for my own sanity, because like you said, I'm going to be up and down the country, around the world, following this team. And then if I just detach myself from now and say, do you know what, this is how I feel, which is true, if we should be 5th/6th.
Just manage your expectations.
We could struggle against Wolves will be an interesting game in a couple of weeks, but let's spin a positive then, because I want to get your predictions on where we're going to finish in the league. I look at it and I go, right, the most positive scenario, because the back 4 could gel and be really strong and we won't concede many goals. Rashford and Martial might score 20 goals, Lingard might get 10. It's the midfield that will define this. So what's the best we can have from that midfield? Pogba with a similar season to last season. McTominay, Fred, Pereira have got to go to levels we don't even know they can hit, and Matic has just got to basically not play. So it's this. You know, when people say you're being negative, that's what we've got to play with. 5 players. Pogba's brilliant on his day. Matic is finished, and then 3 players that we don't know whether they'll fill their potential. So it's hard to know. I think United this season peak will be 4th, but head I think we're going to finish 6th, and that might be a positive, because you know what, Everton, Wolves, Leicester could quite conceivably pull us in.
Yeah, the thing is, when you look at the size of the gap between us and the rest last season, even though we didn't play well, I think we're comfortably in the top 6 for the simple fact that we've taken Leicester's best player. Do you know what I mean? And yes, other teams have strengthened. Exactly, Wolves are in Europe, and they don't have the squad for that. Like I don't care what anyone says. Everton have spent a lot of money, but I genuinely think that if you're realistic, 4th, Ollie's pulled a blinder, and 6th he's probably underachieved because Chelsea didn't have a transfer window. So I think 5th is about where we're supposed to finish right now.
So
Nah, but you know what?
It's all true.
Manage your expectations now, innit?
Yeah.
Because a lot of fans, they see the badge and they still think we're competing for the title. Like, this is not the same team, yeah, that you were watching for the last decade or whatever. It's not, innit? Like, the Glazers have sucked the soul out of this club. This is not the club that I grew up supporting. It's not. It's something else, innit? So you have to manage your expectations. We are not where we were. Like, I don't feel the same way. When I'm watching them, there's nothing. Like, the soul has been literally ripped out of this club. So it's one of them things where it's not on Ollie if we don't do well. Like, if things go wrong, aim it at the owners, innit? Don't aim it at the management, because I didn't like Mourinho. I wanted him out, but that was for personal reasons. I don't think he was a good fit for the club anyway. But you can't use that same excuse for Ollie now. It's not about that. He hasn't been backed the way he should have been backed. A club like us need to be spending 200 million in a window net. And really, when I look at it, we've got 150 million to spend still.
Yeah,
and we could have signed 3 top quality players and been competing for the top 3 had we got in a right winger, and 2 midfielders, because we've got the money. Or we could have got in a midfielder, a right winger, and a striker.
That's what ambition and a rebuild was.
That's
We
it.
didn't get it.
There you go.
Yeah, look, the negativity is about the owners. It's not about Ollie. It's not about the players, and people need to address that. So people in the comments are saying you're negative. You need to look at why you're saying we're being negative. The reality is there, like Rants just said, the spend is 150 million down on what should have been. Where are we going to finish in the league?
Echo the same thing, to be honest. I mean, 4th at an absolute push. I think we'll all have raised eyebrows if we finish 4th.
We're the same
I
as
think,
Arsenal last year. I said this. I said if Emery gets 4th, he deserves manager
yeah,
of the year.
exactly. And he nearly did.
it.
And he nearly
I'll
did,
say
exactly.
Ollie, if he
6 to
gets-
4.
If he gets 4th, that's
6
how
to
big
4th.
the task is.
Exactly. We need a mixture of a combination of things. We need the unknown, untried players at this level to really produce, which is a gamble, which will be luck. And we also need the other teams around us, like your Arsenal, who have spent well and had a decent window, for it to fall flat on their face, and it didn't work. Chelsea, we're similar with them because they're in the land of unknown. They couldn't even buy anyone, and they got a new manager. And Spurs, they've invested very, very well, and they should be looking to be pushing Liverpool and City. So, and we need them to fall short.
And
So,
we need to avoid injuries, which comes down to luck again. Do you know what I mean? So we're dependent on a lot.
dependent on other variables that are not within our control, which is never a good position to be in. Like how last year happened, we were so bad and we still had a chance of sneaking in. I know we messed it up, but if we would have finished 4th in that season, we still would have been saying all the things going into the transfer window that we were saying. We need this, we need that, this is not good enough. And that, I feel, will be the same thing. Because even if we do well, and this is the key for me, you speak about it a lot, so do you. If we start well, going on a run, as football fans, we're very flippant and very reactive. You say what you see in front of you at the time. So, like, a lot of people could stay and have this view right now. We go and beat Chelsea 3-0, and then we go to Wolves, win 2-0, and then, and then all of a sudden we get to October, we've only dropped points in 1 draw, and it's kind of like we're up there. All it takes is for us to go on a little bad run. We've seen what happens with these players. I'll ask you lot the question. Are you lot 100% sure, hand on heart, that when the going gets tough with this group of players, that they can get themselves out of it? Because I'm not. And it's not even all about their mentality, about their ability as well. Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Ollie needed to bring some winners into that team with big personalities.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka will be that, but he's still very
he'll grow
young.
into that.
And Harry Maguire, he is that, but he's a centre-back. It was the attack and the momentum of the team that it needed a Bruno Fernandes to come in, hungry, I've achieved, I'm doing it on the highest level. That's what it needed. We've still got the same status quo there. And I agree with you, Rance. I think if it does happen, it's going to be brilliant work by Ollie and his coaching staff, but actually it's luck, because he wasn't backed by the ownership. Don't deserve the success that will happen this season if it did happen, because they've not put anything in to succeed in that.
Well.
But it will mask a lot of the problems. What I must mention is the Cups. Europa League is a marathon of a tournament. We don't have major depth. How do you feel we approach that this season? Or do we just
I think
put the
that,
kids in, or what?
I think that we need to win that. I'm gonna be real. We have to win the Europa League because we're not getting in the Champions League. And the thing is, if he navigates it well, like teams like us, you're meant to get to the quarterfinals at least of the Europa League without breaking a sweat. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to, innit? Like, so I'm not saying you meant to. Like, we're United, and boy, I'm Midtjylland. Like, that's all I'm saying. Anything can happen, but we're supposed to get to the quarterfinals, because I know you like to crop things.
No, that's what will happen.
Okay, so
taking the word supposed to anyway.
that's it. So we're supposed to get there without breaking a sweat. We're supposed to play like a League Cup team and get there. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when we get there, then we'll see. But the bottom line is, we just don't bloody know. Like, I would play the likes of Daniel James, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Martial. I'd still keep it quite a young team, rest the hair and do that. Play Smalling and Jones, and we're supposed to get to the knockout stages. But then again, you just never know with us. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, you know, you come to April, and again, it's the mint with the hole, isn't it? It's polo because the midfield's dead, and it's like. You get to that April time, we've seen it with ourselves and the Mourinho, we saw it last year with Arsenal and Chelsea. You're playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. You're doing that with 5 midfielders. Like, you know, it's going to hurt. Like you said, we could bounce high in the first 2 months.
Easily.
And then when the fatigue hits, and especially with the young players like Greenwood and McTominay and Pereira, they might be able to do it for 2 or 3 months, but the class players or established players do it for a whole season. And when the bounce comes down, have they got? It's such a hard season to call, but I think the negativity is granted. So cups, you're saying 5th in the league. I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah.
Cups. Do you fancy a cup, or do you just? Well,
I'd like a cup.
You say play the youth in the cup. We're playing bloody youth anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. That's all we got now. FA Cup, you can never say we're going to win the FA Cup.
FA Cup's a waste of time because of when it starts. It starts in January, and then you have to play it in the latter stages.
Look, and I'm not taking off the shine and gloss from the FA Cup. I'm not saying it's a shit thing to win, because it's not. It's nice to get a day out of Wembley. It's nice to win it. We want to win things.
Do it like City did it.
There you go. You need a big squad, and I don't know.
To be a shit mid-table team.
Exactly.
How about the
And no pressure.
All right, FA Cup.
Do I think we're going to win a cup this year? No.
You've got to be good enough to win it, haven't you?
I don't know. How do you even answer that question? You don't know, do you?
Depends how seriously the top 4,
Exactly.
I think. Take.
I don't know, but the United DNA might just take us all the way, bruv. I don't know. Like,
Carabao Cup.
imagine it though. Literally, yeah. Like, after all of this, because the thing is, people say, I don't even think we're being realistic. I think we're being realistic. We're not being negative. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you have seen this transfer window and you've got anything positive to take from it, like, you're on stuff, and I want some. Because there's nothing real positive to take out of it. We done the deals we were supposed to do. It took Woodward ages to do these deals. It's not like it was like, boom, at the beginning we got these done. Like, we paid what we were going to pay for Harry Maguire anyway. We paid what we were going to pay for Wan-Bissaka. I think 45 million is a steal. But saying that, I'm sure that was the price anyway. Do you know what I mean? So we haven't done amazing business. We have plugged the gaps that we needed to plug. But this is just being realistic. If we win anything and we finish in the top 4, it's a miracle, like it is, because we don't have depth. We're starting this season weaker as a whole than we did last season, because as much as, yes, we needed to shore up our defence, we still got like 10 centre-backs at the club.
And to be fair, on the cup thing though, to be fair, of course it's doable, because like you said, in the FA Cup, you could have 3 championship teams all drawn at Old Trafford, then before you know it, you're in the semi-final. Yeah. Someone might pull a worldie, then all you have to beat in the semi-final is Watford or Burnley or something, I don't know, because they miraculously, then before you know it, you're in the final, then you've got a one-off game against Liverpool or a one-off game. So we could easily win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, of course, because you can get a favourable run. Yes. But that's neither here or there. You don't know. There you go, exactly.
A lot of the stuff out of our hands is what we're relying on already, and the ball hasn't been kicked. It's depressing, honestly.
I'm only happy because I know I'm about to go and have a few beers. I know when I wake up tomorrow listening to what we've been talking about. We've got 9 months and there ain't going to be no midfielders coming in. So it's that land. It's the land of hope.
Maybe let's just say, to be positive, we're going to do a madness in January. Yeah, you don't. Eriksen's going to get bored. He's like, I should have went in the summer. He come Man United.
He might do that.
I don't know.
Because they might want to get a bit of money before it goes free. Anyway, look, get your comments in below on what you think about the season ahead. We think that 4th would be a madness. It would be an amazing achievement. We're looking at maybe 5th and 6th, which is it is a shambles. We said it yesterday. It's a shambles that this football club is going into a season. I can't remember us going into a season like this. Even under Moyes, I didn't go in like this. Yeah. So well done, Manchester United board. You've inflicted this on us, and that's where the negativity is aimed. I don't want to see Ollie out. I don't want to see players being attacked. It's the board. They didn't back the manager.
But obviously we're going to be kind of excited in terms of seeing some of these young players. Hopefully they're fearless. Chelsea's a big game. It doesn't change, because I think sometimes people get misconstrued that we're not behind the boys and want them to do.
I'm glad we ain't got Brighton at home and then Huddersfield away, even though they've been relegated. I'm glad we've got Chelsea at home and Wolves away, because it's straight in. We'll find out straight away.
There you go. You'll see what the mustard's made of.
Yeah, we're 100% behind the boys, behind the team, behind the manager. Do you know what I mean? It's the owners and the board. Obviously, that's what. All the frustration needs to be aimed that way. Do you know what I mean? After the game, if someone doesn't play well, of course they're going to get stick. But ultimately, we know where the problem is, innit? And I think that's where everyone needs to channel their energy from now on. Do you know what I mean? When things aren't going well, Ollie might make mistakes, this, that and the other, but they hired him. Do you know what I mean? So the frustration needs to go there, and that's whether that's on Twitter, on the fan cams, anywhere in the stadiums. That's where the frustration needs to go.
100%. And look, if Fred has a crap game, or McTominay does a bad pass, or Pereira has a quiet game, yeah, you've got every right to say that was a crap pass. But ultimately, it's not their fault. We haven't bought Bruno Fernandes or Thomas Partey. It's the board's fault. Even Ollie knew he needed midfielders. He didn't get them. The story of this summer, we'll never know what happened. But United went into it needing 2 midfielders and came out of it with none. It's the same with Perisic 2 years ago. Mourinho wanted Perisic. He didn't get him.
Ollie sold 2 midfielders last season, and literally Fellaini and Herrera, we sold 2 midfielders and didn't sell. We didn't bring any in. We knew that Herrera was leaving because Ollie dropped him before the end of the season, so we knew that he was off. Ollie sold Fellaini. We knew Lukaku was off, so all of these things were done so long ago. We had more than enough time to figure out who we were replacing these guys with. And we didn't do it. We can't blame Ollie for that.
What's happened is, what always happens is, we haven't got a director of football who knows how to negotiate. And I would imagine they've gone in for, let's say, Bruno Fernandes, and they've said we only want to pay 50, and Sporting Lisbon have said it's 65, it's 65, it's 65. They don't know how to negotiate, and they end up going, we're not paying 65 because it's stubborn. And then you don't get your midfielder. We did it with Perisic. Anyway, get your comments in below. Thanks everyone for watching. We're going to go and have a beer, and the season starts here. Thanks for watching.
Big respect to all you guys for watching that video, and make sure you check out more United Stand content here and here. Yeah, like, subscribe and share, and the socials are along the bottom. You know what to do. Go get following. Go, 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 go.